Africa. Meanwhile, Cosatu in Gauteng pledged its support to the over 300 fired non-unionized Gautrain bus drivers last week. The bus drivers were dismissed by the Bombela concession company, which manages the high-speed Gautrain and its bus network, for going on illegal strikes. Well, to discuss this issue, I'm now joined by Adcorp's Labour Analyst, Labour economist, Loane Sharp. Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on the programme.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, so we're seeing a lot of labour activity, strikes, and sadly some of these are unprotected. Explain what unprotected is first before we get into this discussion.
Well, before the Labour Relations Act of 1995, we had a distinction between illegal and legal strikes, and the right to strike was established in the Constitution. Strikes are legal in a sense, but some are protected and some are not protected. Basically, a company is entitled to dismiss workers who do not follow the procedures required for a protected strike. In these circumstances, the Labour Court can order workers to return to work. If they fail to do so, the company is entitled to dismiss them. It might seem like quite a theatrical thing to lay off at first 6,000, then 13,000, then 17,000 workers simply to rehire them. But basically what the company will be trying to do in that process is demonstrate to the Labour Court in any further action that may occur that it followed procedures, that it rehired those employees using a fair procedure. Not all employees will reapply for their job, and the company will then be able to avoid the accusation of selectively rehiring. So it's quite complicated. The law affecting strikes is very complex.
But why are they workers, or is it the unions, or combination of both, I don't know, choosing to go on strikes that are unprotected and having these loss of jobs?
I think there's several trends in the background that give rise to this. The most important is that union membership has been declining in South Africa, very slightly, but nonetheless declining. Over the last decade, unions lost about 1 million members in total. What this means is that unions are under pressure and competitive with each other. So something we've observed over the last 18 months is the emergence of new unions representing a significant part of the workforce, but not recognized by management. These unions tend to have experience, they tend to be very in their interests for workers, and they perhaps don't appreciate the legalities, and I think they induce their members to go on these unprotected wildcat spontaneous strikes.
And this is costing both employer and employees. Very quickly though, your employment index came out recently for January. What are the highlights?
The highlights are that January was a very good month from a job creation point of view. Almost all sectors of the economy increased jobs. The economy as a whole created about 80,000 jobs in January, which is a very significant result. The parts of the economy that are strongest and creating jobs fastest are the retail and wholesale trade sectors, the transport and logistics sectors. Something else that features in our report, which you can get on our website, adcorp.co.za, is income disparities between races have been narrowing in South Africa dramatically. We expect, based on recent trends, that income disparities between whites and blacks in South Africa will close within as little as 7 years.
Wow. Okay, Loane Sharp, we're going to have to read that report. Sounds fascinating, and I'm sure we'll chat to you again in the near future. Thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thanks, Peter.